Yahoo! Hey everyone, it's Anne aka Apricot Sushi, and I've got a really exciting video for you today. This is a gameplay video of Usotsuki Hime to Moumoku Ouji, or Liar Princess and Blind Prince. This game came out in Japan around the end of May. I think it was the 31st actually, for Nintendo Switch, which is what I'm playing it on now, the PS4 and PS Vita. This is a Nippon Ichi Software game. You may know they also did a couple really cute sort of similar games called Yomawari Night Alone, and that one had a sequel, and then also Hotaru no Nikki or Firefly Diary, so kind of shorter quirky games that have kind of a neat art style and not super intense gameplay, but really cool aesthetic overall. This was my Patreon game for May. My Patreon supporters can vote on which import games from Japan I review every month. If you pledge $3 or more per month, you get a chance to vote on what I'm going to review. So if you want to vote on an upcoming game for me to review, you can check out my Patreon in the description below. Now, I finished this game. I played the whole thing. It was about 6 hours long. So a bit on the shorter side, but I think just the right length for this kind of game. So this file in the middle, save file, you can see at the bottom is 6 hours. That's my completed one, but I'm gonna load up an earlier save file. This is from the second world in the game. So here we go. Here's the main character that you play as, the princess. Now she has the ability to grab hands with the prince. As you can see, he's blind, so you have to guide him through the levels. You can also tell him where to go. So I've told him to walk over there. Later on in the game you get a few more abilities, like he can pick up stuff for you. You can even tell him what direction to go in when you're not holding his hand. But this is the other main aspect of the game. So the princess is actually this wolf. This is her true form, and she asked the witch to turn her into a princess so that she could guide the prince to the witch and hopefully have the witch restore his eyesight. So her secret is that the prince does not know she's actually this wolf monster, because she holds hands with him as a human when she's in the human form. See, I will now guide him across this weird sticky stuff that makes you walk really slowly. And then you have to transform into the wolf to solve puzzles and kill enemies that might threaten the prince. So here's one. So I'm gonna slash him. Luckily there's no friendly fire. At first I was worried I was gonna hit the prince, but no, you can't do that by accident. Okay, so we come back and grab him and then walk through the goop again. I just love the 3D aspect of these 2D levels, like how they have stuff in the foreground and the background, really gives it some depth. The colors are really cool and muted. It all has a very storybook quality to it. Even the narration of the game, there's only one voice actor, one narrator that tells the whole story, so it really gives it this fairy tale story quality. Now here, just a minor puzzle. I had to jump up here to pull the lever so that we could go down. Now you jump higher when you're in the wolf form, so often you'll have to turn into the wolf to do puzzles like that. Jump up high, stuff like that. So now here's a mushroom, so you use the mushroom to jump even higher than you could normally. You gotta be really careful though. Sometimes if you don't land on the mushroom when you're falling down, you'll fall from a height that is too high, and then either you and the prince will die, or the prince will die. The prince dies a fair bit, either because monsters get him or I accidentally fall from too high. That's one of my complaints about the game, is probably that it's not very clear like when you'll die from falling and other things, and the gameplay is all a bit glitchy. Like sometimes I'll get smushed by rocks, but it didn't seem like I should have been, or the prince would die and I didn't think he was going to. So, but luckily there are plenty of checkpoints, so even if you die, it's like not that far that you have to retrace. So I didn't really mind it that much. Just got a bit annoying sometimes. So here's a puzzle. I think we've got to bring this block down and use it to, luckily I can't smush the prince there, but we use this to, I think, get the platforms to be the right height so we can continue along. So let's see, gonna bring the prince over. Hopefully I did this right. My favorite part about this game is just the presentation, the art style, the music, storytelling is just amazing. I love the dark fairy tale aspect to it. I don't think we have enough games that are like sort of, you know, yeah, dark fairy tale, I guess is the way I want to put it. You know, not all sunshine and rainbows. It's not a Disney fairy tale. It kind of has a bittersweet ending. It's a bit creepy in spots, you know, that kind of thing. I think I screwed this up. I'm gonna retry it. While I was too busy talking, I messed it up. So there is a skip option. You can skip the whole stage if you're really having a tough time with a puzzle. I didn't actually do that in my playthrough though. There were a couple times that I came really close. I kind of wanted to. But this time I'm just going to retry that. So it's loading up my last checkpoint, which as you can see is right here. So not far at all. So I'm gonna retry this block thing. But yeah, so as I was saying, there were a couple of puzzles that did frustrate me quite a bit, including one puzzle that you really need Japanese language comprehension to make sense of. And even though I did understand what the question was asking, it was a riddle, and I eventually Googled it. So I looked at a walkthrough because I got so mad. I didn't know what was going on. There weren't really any good hints. But other than that, and like one other puzzle that kind of frustrated me, I didn't find them too hard. But again, if you just want to see the story, you could skip through. So I gotta make sure I do this right. I don't want to screw it up again. I think... What are we doing here? So I need him to be on here when I lift the other platform, I think. Well, that's not right. So believe it or not, I have done this before, but I'm terribly bad at puzzles and games. And my husband did kind of sit and watch me as I played, so he'd give suggestions when I got frustrated. I think I need the prince to actually not be standing on it, and then we're gonna do this all real quick. Except for this is weirdly stuck. Alright, come on. Just keep hitting it. No. Let's try to get him on here, and then... Oh no. Oh, there we go! Yeah! That's skill. Some of the puzzles took me quite a few tries. I won't tell you how many tries. That wasn't bad. See, there as you can see, when you fall from a height, you look like you're gonna get hurt. Like that. And sometimes you will die. That message is just telling me about these mushrooms, which you can use to get to areas you couldn't otherwise, because they bounce you really high. And there we go, that's saved. Let's see what we've got over here. So these kind of jumps I can only go as the wolf. And oh, so that is a leaf. If you can kind of see that little icon on the left, but I'd already collected it, so it was grayed out. So that's a good time to show you all these collectibles you have. Now the memories are just the story cutscenes. The flowers are the main collectible in the game, and they give you a little story. I'm not gonna load up a memory. I want to show you the collection. Now this is what you get for collecting those little flower petals. There was one on the screen just now that I'd already collected in a previous playthrough. And so every so many you collect, you get these different design notes, which are really fun to look at. Like this one of the princess. In the bottom left it shows that she always has to have her teeth. Really cute. Yeah, the art of this game is really great. One of my favorite games aesthetically in a long time, I think. There's the prince before he was blinded. That's not really a spoiler, it's at the beginning of the game. But this is him now. Oh, so cute. Now actually the prince and princess, no, king and queen, he's the prince. The king and queen said that he's not fit to be the next king because he's blind, which is very sad. That's why he's wearing kind of like a sack. They put him in jail or the prison and didn't want him to be seen by anyone. It's not a way to treat your son. So we just run by all these monsters. Oh. Luckily we didn't die there. So I think think this is a pretty good snippet of the game. You can kind of get an idea for what the gameplay is like. There are, I think, 4 or 5 different worlds. There are definitely 5 chapters. 5 main chapters, but maybe only 4 different worlds, and they each sort of have their own aesthetic and different gameplay gimmick. The gameplay is fun and all. I mean, it's fine, it's not amazing, but the story and the presentation, everything about this game otherwise is why I love it. I just love the story and the characters and the art and the soundtrack. As you can tell, I'm quite a big fan. I have a full review over on my site if you want to get my full impressions, but I really appreciate you watching this video, and if you enjoyed it and want to vote on other upcoming games I'll do videos for, you can check out my Patreon in the description below. Thanks so much, and I'll see you again next time.